Back in 2023, we were gifted with the hilarious television series Jury Duty, about a fake jury trial where everyone involved was an actor except for one person. Now, the same creators have brought us Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat, following the employees of Rockin' Grandma's Hot Sauce on their annual company retreat. Once again, everything is staged except for the inclusion of one unsuspecting person. But can the magic of jury duty truly be recaptured? Can lightning strike twice? Find out on a new episode of Watch, Review, Repeat, which begins now. Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me on a company retreat.
Very good.
A Watch, Review, Repeat company retreat. It's like sort of rhyming a little bit.
Like
anyway,
yeah.
It's Andrew Meadows. I don't think I've actually said
I'm
your
here.
name yet. So, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man.
Yeah.
You can't. It's hard to complain when you're on a company retreat.
That's right. You might even be drinking some Kirkland wine, as you were telling me about before we started recording.
Kirkland
like it's not bad apparently.
It's 2024 gold. Beverage Tasting Institute says Best Buy, dude.
All right.
Kirkland.
Give that a go. See, the thing is,
Classico.
we go to Costco in New Jersey, and the state laws prevent them from selling wine and liquor at Costco's in New Jersey.
Real?
So you got to go to Delaware to get the good stuff. I think that's the ticket, because I don't think they do it in Pennsylvania either. Anyway, it's all bullshit, man.
Florida don't give a
shit. Sunday? Yeah, come on down. Middle of the night? Yeah, come on down. We're open all the time. Maybe not quite that far, but pretty close. Pretty close, right?
Pretty close.
Anyway, yes, we're having a company retreat to talk about Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat, the 2026 Jury Duty follow-up, season 2, I guess, if you will, where they couldn't do jury duty again, and so they've changed things up. They've shaken things up and taken on a different conceit, brought in some different actors, and then found one guy. They found another guy to be like, look, we're going to fuck with this guy for a couple weeks and everyone's going to love it. And I'll tell you what, I think I had some fun with it. We're going to talk about it. So before we do talk about Company Retreat, which I am very much looking forward to talking about, we didn't actually properly cover Jury Duty. We didn't do an episode on it. I think we talked about it a lot. So I think it was one that you came to before I did. And then it was like, oh my God, this is incredible. But I'm excited to talk about Company Retreat because it's a lot. It's a lot we'll need to break down for sure.
Yeah.
So before we do that, would you happen to have a mythological trivia question? As we're looking forward to the Odyssey coming out in July. We're still a few months away, but we can think about Greek mythology every week with some trivia questions.
So I tried to get this as adjacent as I could. There might be more in here that might be better, but
yeah, this is a tough one. This thematically, this could be tough. I don't know how many company retreats.
See if I can pull this off.
The ancient Greeks were going on, but
there is one character that is present in the show.
Maybe they had jury duty. I don't know.
There's one there's one character in the show that is very very supportive. He's a very supportive guy.
Okay.
And I don't know. This question reminded me of that guy. Can't remember his name. It's the one that wears like the shirts and he's hunting for the time capsule the entire time.
Oh, Jimmy. I think Jimmy.
This is like Jimmy. It's like a Jimmy question, I guess.
Okay, Jimmy question.
The Roman god, or it actually better yet, it's the love It's the love thing with.
Kevin
with
Amy
HR,
other Anthony, yeah.
The Roman god Cupid is the son of what love goddess?
Well, the love. Oh, you're gonna give me options?
I can. Can you do it?
Okay. Well, is it asking? See, I don't know. I get tripped up with the Greek and Roman names of gods because sometimes they're different, even though they're sort of the same, but maybe not quite the same. Like the Roman god's based off this Greek god, but they got a different name. So Aphrodite is what I'm thinking of, but I don't know if
Aphrodite. I think
right.
is What's the Roman name of Aphrodite? Do you know?
I don't.
I think you got it. I think you could do it.
You think I can do it off the cuff?
I think you can.
Just thinking about it. Fuck.
I think you can. I think it's in there. It's definitely in there. It's just whether
I'm sure
I've
heard it before. I don't think there's any question about that. It's just, is it going to come to the surface? I don't know about that.
Aphrodite's right. I'd give you Aphrodite. I'm pretty sure it's Aphrodite.
But I assume the card is seeking the Roman name.
Yes.
Okay.
So what planet? What planet would be?
Oh yes, I see. Okay, planets. Duh. I should think about that. Would it be? There's only so many options. Would it be Venus?
It is Venus. Yes.
Okay.
Well done.
It was coming to mind, and I was like, wait, hold on. Let me run through my Sailor Moon stuff. See if that helps.
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I don't know if that helped me at all, but I did think about Sailor Moon, so I figured I should mention it.
I just remember Devontae and Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's going way back.
Sailor Moon's good stuff. But not what we're here to talk about. We could do a bonus episode about Sailor Moon sometime. Honestly, not opposed. Not opposed. Well, we'll see. But we've got other things to talk about. We've got things to talk about right now, like Jury Duty presents Company Retreat. And I will say, usually I hate the whole John Wick presents ballerina sort of style of Fast and Furious presents. I mean, I don't think you need it, but actually it doesn't bother me as much here because I don't know, like it's a very specific kind of thing. But
like if you just called it Company Retreat, would it be enough? Like, is it enough to like?
And it's weird in TV land too because this is really Jury Duty season 2, but you wouldn't call this Jury Duty season 2 because it doesn't. It's not about jury duty,
right?
So it doesn't make sense. So yeah, if you call it Company Retreat, then it really is just something separate, even though it's effectively season 2 of Jury Duty. So I mean, yeah, it's you could do Jury Duty : Company Retreat, which probably makes less sense.
That's the word. It's awful.
So yeah, I think it's one of the few examples where I'm like, I think it actually does sort of make sense here because you do want that brand.
They must have not had
to sell you on what it is.
Must not had the foresight to know that they were going to get a second season. Otherwise, they probably would have came up with.
No, I'm sure not. I mean, Jury Duty, the first one was a freebie show. Wasn't even on regular old Prime Video. Now Freebie doesn't even fucking exist anymore, so this one is just on Prime Video, but I'm sure they had no idea. And I think also, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, in just a couple of minutes, but like, how do you do it again? You can't. You can't, right?
No.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can. Anyway, we'll talk about that after I set things up. Jury Duty presents Company Retreat is streaming, as I said, exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. The show is created by Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stupnitsky, directed by Jake Zemansky. It stars a whole lot of actors that I could name, but I don't think you and I would recognize. I don't think a lot of people will recognize, but most importantly, it stars one man in particular, Anthony Norman, who is playing himself. And that's kind of what this show is, right? So it's about Anthony, real life Anthony, who becomes a temp at a hot sauce company and attends a corporate retreat. And as the founder prepares to step down, the getaway transforms into a clash between corporate ambitions and small business values. But unbeknownst to Anthony, it's all staged. Ooh,
big one.
Spoilers, right? No, that's kind of the premise. That's the whole point of the show. It's exactly what Jury Duty was, except the first season was this guy has been selected to be on a jury in which everything is staged, from the jurors to the judge, to the bailiff, and everything about it is just invented for
which is it was fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean 100%. It needs to be said, reiterated. The first season of Jury Duty, we could just call it Jury Duty because it is just Jury Duty, is fucking phenomenal. It's like, 8 episodes, and I mean, you could run through it in a night, and it's just so fucking funny. It is so fucking funny. I mean, it is incredible. First season has James Marsden as like a fictional version of himself, which is great. Ronald Gladden is like the guy in that season, and Ronald's just a good dude.
Guy, man.
You know, just an incredible dude, and then just some of the stuff in that first season, the soaking stuff. I don't know. There's something really, really special about the first season, and I'm sure inevitably part of our conversation on this episode is going to be, you know,
how's it compare?
How does it compare? Did they do it again? How does it compare? We'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that. But at a minimum, bare minimum, please watch that first season of Jury Duty. We've said it before. It's been probably a few years since I think that came out in 23. We're saying it again now. I do have a fun fact, I will say, before we fully jump into some non-spoilers for Company Retreat. Because obviously the whole point is, you know, we're trying to find the one guy, you know, the one normie, you know, to be the kind of guinea pig of this whole thing. And that's quite the casting process. We don't have the full ins and outs of it, but what we do know is, you know, for this particular season for Company Retreat, they put out a posting for a temp role. 10,000 people applied for it, which is to say, I guess a lot of people need fucking jobs, and well, this is America. Fun fact number one. But no, I mean, you know, in terms of casting that, it's very much about finding someone. You know, the show is structured in a way that they don't want to make that person the butt of the joke. They want to have someone that is going to have the right sort of energy and fit to roll with the punches, to, you know, kind of just, you know, become part of the ensemble, and you know, just be able to vibe and really fit in. And that's got to be an immensely tough process. And I know they've said, like, with this, you know, the job interview process, like, they kind of treated it like proper job interviews and stuff like that, where there were multiple rounds of, you know, talking to people, getting a sense of who they are, probably in some way screening to make sure that they hadn't watched Jury Duty and didn't really know a whole lot about the first season, so that they wouldn't be on guard for something like this maybe happening to them. And interestingly, the final interview was actually done with the guy that plays Kevin, who is the HR guy for Rockin' Grandmas, which is the fictional hot sauce company here, which is very funny, like a sort of meta thing where the actual final interview is someone that's part of the fake company who is an actor. And that's kind of the flip side of, you know, in terms of casting, is not only do you have to find the normie, but you have to find a whole group of actors who are willing to immerse themselves in this fake world for weeks.
Yeah.
And be on their fucking game at all times, essentially, so that they're not slipping, so that they're not calling each other by the wrong name, so that they're not forgetting details or getting details wrong that might be like a tip-off to Anthony to be like, hey, something's going on here. There's some fuckery afoot, my good sir. And that's
the commitment from cast and crew and everybody is just enormous.
Hugely enormous, and that's a massive endeavor to get these people, because I mean, also they can't be too famous, you know. Like, I mean, you know, this is sort of an opportunity of a big break in some ways for a lot of these actors because they shouldn't be recognizable. They should be bit actors. They should be maybe comedians who haven't hit the big scene, you know, and haven't hit the big time or anything like that. And they did self tapes. They brought in people to do like full-on improv sessions. Then they did like a focus group, you know, where they're interacting with each other, and like they're kind of sort of fake roles just to see who can like kind of, you know, be the right sort of person, you know, to be in this kind of role where you really have to be committed to the bit. So it's obviously not only intense to find your Anthony, to find your Ronald.
Yeah.
But it's a very intensive process to find your group of people that are going to bring Rockin' Grandmas to life and you know, have the right sort of chops to make it absurd enough that it's funny for a TV show, but just realistic enough that, you know, these are just oddballs, or, you know, you know, like kind of goofy. You know, you meet characters in life. You sell cars for a living. I'm sure you've met some characters that might feel like they were walked straight out of a fucking TV show. You know, if there was a camera crew following them, you'd be like, yeah, that tracks. You know, but yeah, no, it's a really interesting thing for a production of this style and this nature is a really, really fascinating thing. And the nice thing about the show, I will say, is it does give you slivers of behind the scenes stuff by the end. I think they put out another separate behind the scenes thing too, which I think gives a little bit more insight, which I watched some of, but haven't watched all of, just to be transparent on that front. But we have watched the whole show. We have watched all, 8 episodes of the mainline company retreat. So,
yeah.
So now we get to the point of non-spoilers for this. I think spoilers, we'll just be talking about the specific funny bits, right? You know, like the funnier bits, I think that stand out is kind of what we can do in spoilers for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, non-spoilers, generally speaking, coming into this show, obviously, jury duty is a lot to live up to, right? You know?
Yeah.
What do you think? Did lightning strike twice? Do you think they managed to pull it off again?
The first thing that... probably the biggest thing. Did they find the guy?
Yeah. I mean, that's such a critical component because without a Ronald or a Ronald equivalent, the show probably doesn't, the whole conceit doesn't work. You know? You can't just have a fucking wet noodle, you know,
or somebody that's like hateful or
someone who kind of sucks, you know, like you don't want to root for, right? You know, you need to have someone that you feel like is an everyman, but is just like inherently just like likable, like just seems like a good person. And well, I don't know how'd they do on that.
I think they did it. I think they found another guy. They found their guy. I wish that I could interview and find somebody like.
Oh yeah,
where do you find an employee like this guy? You know what I'm saying?
You need this guy working for you. Is what you're thinking?
That's what I'm saying. That is a high quality temp. Captain
Fun, man. He was. Wow. Yeah. He was okay with being immersed in this crazy life.
Crushed the shit out of that job, dude. But beyond that, I think there's a sequence there at the end of the show where it talks about how like the scope of what they were doing in this season was
step up from
like 4 times more or whatever. That I don't know the exact numbers or anything, but it was acres and acres worth of setup versus
you've gone from a courtroom. Mm-hmm. And maybe parts in, I guess, the hotel, you know, part like a hotel right. and a courtroom to this whole outdoor space, you know, with buildings, with outdoor space, with like, you know, like actual natural scenery and stuff nearby. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge, just pure step up in terms of scale.
Which is
complicates things, you know, from a production standpoint. When you start thinking
like, and they do such a very good job of this show to where you actually you don't really think about it. You don't think about it at all.
No.
And you find yourself like after a couple of episodes, I find myself forgetting that I'm watching a show where the guy is actually part of the thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, I feel like I'm watching like The Office or something.
Well, and I think that's something with this season particularly is because it is very much a company, you know, like this small business where these people have been working at theoretically have been, you know, canonically working at this business for years and years and years and know each other for years. Like it kind of lends itself to that dynamic like The Office, which is so fundamentally different from the first season where it was very intentionally a group of strangers because they're, you know, random jurors brought in on a jury pool, and you had a James Marsden who's just like, oh, that's fun, you know, and, you know, he's fictional dickbag James Marsden, but you didn't even have that here, you know, like it was just like a full, like, I mean, there is a cameo of sorts, I guess we'll get into there in spoilers, I guess, if you will,
that's pretty good.
Which is funny. A big name pull, if you will, but no, I mean, just the actual design of the show is so different, and like I think just adds so many layers and complicated layers where like I don't know, like with these people who don't know each other in that first season, it's just like, whatever goes. Here, there's a history, and I think they did stuff where like they had like fake LinkedIn's for like the website, for the company and stuff like that. And it's just like there's so much you have to put into it for it to work and not just completely fall apart if anyone like clicks, like pokes around a little bit or asks, the wrong question, or, there's a slip up and you don't really understand what your character is. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it that is just really complicated. But I think what is fun is that the first season's dynamic is so different from the second season's dynamic, because the second season's setup gives it an opportunity to be a bit more wacky. The first season is kind of just like, the judge isn't going to be that wacky. Like, the wackiness in the first season comes from, like, you had some of the people testifying, had like the funny shit with like the low rent exhibits and stuff like that, or you had like shit like the guy bringing in the chair pants, and like there were bits in there where it was like stretching it, but like you still kind of had it confined to like, hey, this is a courthouse. There's some level of decorum that's supposed to be happening, whereas this is a company retreat. By design, everyone's cutting loose a little bit, and it's just a lot. It's just a very different type of antics that can happen with it, which is really, really funny.
I think it's really cool too. The character study, like he's new, obviously, right? Yep. He's a temp, and I think it's really interesting that they introduce the CEO or the owner of the company has his son, who has not been involved in the company at all, is trying to like step in and take over, right? And so he hasn't been involved. He doesn't share the camaraderie with everybody else like everyone else, period, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And naturally, the two newbie guys kind of gravitate to each other in a certain way.
They form a little bromance kind of thing, because they are in similar positions.
And why wouldn't they? Right? You wouldn't think about that, but like, they're both new. Of course they would, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that part is really interesting too. Like, it was written in a way because he doesn't have to gravitate towards him.
No, but he does.
But he naturally does, right?
And so it's honestly, like, and obviously part of the show was, as we kind of said in the first place, like finding the right guy. But it wasn't just that. Like, it was just the way he interacted with everyone, and not even in a, this is my job, so of course I'm just going to do what I'm told, and everything's going to be fine. Like, he
cares.
I think, he let himself be himself, and I think really integrated himself in a really like fascinating sort of way. Like I know for a fact that I wouldn't, be able to engage in the same way. But yeah, they just really
what the fuck is going
it.
on? That's they would capture that in me. What the fuck is going on with everybody?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's very funny. I think that the actors I think we're all fantastic, totally plausible, totally viable. Like, yes, there is. It does kind of cut into that Office territory where it's just kind of like goofy sitcom, a bit over the top, and yet I think it's still, even though there's some obvious like absurd stuff, like the there's a whole thing where there's maybe another company that's gonna come in and maybe buy this hot sauce company, and they're all redheads.
Yeah,
they're all just fucking gingers. So it's just like, just like a little detail where it's just like, what the fuck, and it doesn't go unnoticed, because how could it go unnoticed? Everyone's like, this is fucking weird, right? Like, what the hell's going on here?
That's
but
so funny.
Everything is like kind of just riding that line of being too much. But even where it is too much, like, it almost makes sense. Like Dougie Jr. is like fucking ridiculous as a person, but like could exist as a person. You know what I mean?
Him doing
who maybe spent a few too many years in Jamaica.
Yo. I don't know. Then you got the lady says no, don't do that. It's so funny.
God, God. I do think I'm gonna say I think they did it. I don't know if it's quite the same for me.
No, I'd agree with you.
As the first Jury Duty. I think for me the first Jury Duty, you know, as someone that is a lawyer, like I think that a lot of the charm of the first season of Jury Duty is because of that setting, you know, and how it's operating within that space that I really, really like. I personally appreciated. But I will say, I still think they nailed it with this one, you know? I mean,
they did.
You know, it's crazy that they were able to pull it off, obviously, in terms of finding someone who wasn't able to kind of figure out what was going on and was just like a perfect vibe fit and rolled with all the punches and just like I like that, you know, the final thing that he does that we'll get into in spoilers. Like it was getting intense, man. Like it was pretty intense and like a little bit stressful. And then I think kind of, you know, the big reveal, like I was feeling emotional, you know, like, cause I think like all the actors are kind of just like, oh, is this person going to be like fucking upset that he's been lied to for 2 weeks? Cause ultimately he's been lied to for 2 weeks when you look at it that way. You know, it is a little bit of a betrayal of like, yeah, you know, that bromance you had, that's fake, you know, in a way, you know, it's fake in the sense that like, that's not really that person, you know. The hot sauce company is not a real hot sauce company. Although I think it's a missed marketing opportunity if they don't put out some Rockin' grandmas in her jerk off sauce or whatever's going on, you know.
Jerk off sauce, fucking grandma short circuiting on the guitar. It's so ridiculous.
But again, it's right on that line. Where yes, it's fucking ridiculous, and it could be in an episode of The Office. But you could just, I don't know. It still worked.
Oh, the crabs. I lost it with the fucking crabs.
Yeah.
You did fucking shellfish. You see
Oh man. All right. Why don't we move into recommendation and then some spoilers, and we'll dive in a little bit more deeply, I guess, if you know, we're hinting surface level at funniest moments out of context. I think bottom line recommendation wise is number 1, watch Jury Duty. And I think, you know, it's one of those shows you can just go right into Company Retreat if you hadn't seen that first one, or if you have and you haven't, you know, jumped in on this one, like you can go right in because it's its own thing. It's fundamentally the same idea, but it still feels fresh. It didn't feel like a let's bring out some of the old jokes. Let's, you know, and they're like, I think like Lisa Gilroy's in this, and she's fucking so funny. She was just like one of the presenters that they have, you know, at the retreat. You know, there's the one guy. I'll save it for spoilers. This is incredible.
It's a little phallic.
Yeah. But anyway, recommendation being very yes, totally fine shithouse. I'll just go ahead and say I had so much fun with this show. I didn't think they could do it again, and I was wrong. I'm going to give this a very yes because I just think it's hilarious, and I think not only is it funny, but to me it was heartfelt and coming from the right place of like, let's just put this dude on center stage and like kind of showcase to like, I don't know how human beings should be, like just being bros, humans being bros, you know, and like Anthony just being a good dude and like supportive and like, yeah, he's in these wacky situations and crazy shit's happening left and right, but he's just, I don't know, he's just doing the right things.
It's like one of the things that I like most. I think it's so easy to get captured in this, like, it's like half the reason why I don't go on to, I guess I technically do with Reddit, but I try to avoid all social media, just period, because just like you think everybody's a giant piece of shit.
Negativity and everything is bad. And like, to be fair, to a certain extent, yes, everything is bad, but sometimes you have to hope that
people are just okay. Not everybody's a piece of shit. You know,
a lot of people probably are.
Yeah, but
you know, baseline, you hope that like there's just some basic level of decency and humanity that exists in this world. You have to hope, because otherwise, it's just too depressing. And Company Retreat, and by extension, Jury Duty, at least gives you that little ray of sunshine that makes you think,
there's some decent people
maybe
out
there is good in this world. Maybe there is good in this world.
Oh, wait, all of them lied to that guy. Never mind.
Well, yeah, it's not all black and white, it's there's shades of gray, of course, but
yes,
they lied to him for a good cause. 8 episodes of a television show that's funny. No, they also gave him some money. Here's some money for your trouble. That's really what it boils down to. Is you fuck with someone around, and like no, it's just a prank, bro. Here's $150,000.
The world knows homie is top tier dude.
But I think that's what it is, and I know that the creators have like made that the point of being like, yes, there's a version of this show that like could be mean spirited, and could be putting people in like positions where like, it's intentionally fucking with them, or kind of pushing them to a breaking point of sorts, and like that's not the intent of the show. Like the intent is to put people in kind of intense or stressful situations, and just to see if you can almost kind of prove that point of like, hey, will someone just do the right thing, and like just showing that there is, again, decency, humanity, and goodness,
and they do it in such a masterful way.
And,
like it's
like yes, obviously,
genius.
like in the first season,
strokes
like
of genius for this show.
You're not going to act a fucking fool in front of what you think is a judge in a real courtroom, and like you have to have some level of decorum. Here, dude thinks he's a temp for a job, but like he's a temp. He's got no real stake in this. He could fuck off at any time and be like, that was never going to be a long-term job for me. Like I don't have any dog in the fight. I think he says at one point, and it's just like, yeah, that's totally true. But he buys in hook, line, and sinker, which is really, really awesome to see. And it just, I don't know, just makes for such a, I don't know, all around like good television thing to watch, even if it is maybe a little deceptive and manipulative towards like if you look at it from that standpoint, it is that in a way. But I think the show's
probably not
that from the right
probably
place.
not for you if that's the way you're going to think about it.
No, and I don't think the show is certainly not trying to do that, and I don't think it's looked at that way. But I do think that like come the reveal, I do think the actors, like you can see like the nervous energy being like, how's he going to take this? So anyway, I don't know if I actually gave you a space to give your recommendation. I don't know where you stand.
I think this is a very yes show. Sarah agrees. This is a very yes show. 10 out of 10 in our house.
Good watch in the Meadows household. Very good. Very good.
We very much enjoyed it. We busted it out pretty quick. We were actually pretty. I think they released it in like 2 chunks.
I think 3 chunks. I think they did 3 episodes, and then 2, and then the final 3 because it just wrapped up about a week and a half ago. So we're relatively timely with this in terms of recording, anyway.
But yeah, we had an awesome time with Jury Duty. Jury Duty was a next level show for us, and this is right up there with it. I don't think that it. Sarah thinks she enjoyed it more than Jury Duty.
Okay.
I enjoyed it a whole lot. I thought it was very, very, very funny. But there's I don't know. I feel like there's just still something about that first one. That first one was,
and I don't know that.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what it is, and I don't know that it can ever really be topped. Because it was just such an out of nowhere, like revelation. You know what I mean? And when you come into like, I almost had like middling expectations for Company Retreat of, well, there's no way they can do it again in the same way. And I think that's true. They didn't do it in the same way, but I still think that like their mission statement and how they achieved it and what they achieved with it is really, I still found myself incredibly impressed by all of it.
For sure.
Like
still
just
10 out of 10.
The creativity, the commitment, the casting, and like just the conceit of it, like the storylines and stuff like that. Like, even if it is somewhat tropey and a little, like it, I don't know, it was still like meaningful and like kind of like fun and stuff. So, and just funny, really. Obviously, you're making a sitcom, you need it to be funny, and I think that
They fucking
I don't
crushed
know.
it.
They definitely nailed that side of it for sure. Just I don't know, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. So, well, it's going to be a consensus very yes from us here at Watch Review Repeat for Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat, and so now we're going to do some full spoilers for Company Retreat, which is to say, if there are some funny bits that you want to talk about that we haven't fully gotten into, now it's
Jimmy,
the time
dude.
to do it.
Jimmy is fucking unhinged.
Funny characters, yeah, that's maybe a good thing to talk about, is the characters and all the shit they're up to. Jimmy was incredible.
Like he's always like
Porcupine.
Hey,
Porcupine. Oh, he's an ally now, you know.
That's just it. I just want to give you your space, and I just want you to know I support you, fucking Jimmy. He's got his like gay shirts and stuff, you know. He's like wearing the.
Yeah. Jimmy was great. Well, to tie into the thing that I sort of said earlier, the motivational speaker it climbed Everest and his testicles were frozen off.
Oh, that guy!
And
yeah.
it's just like minutes of that. It's just incredible.
He started screaming, "My testicles!"
And I have to, like, it was one of those things, like, in the moment, like, how are these people not losing their fucking shit, you know, then and there. And I think it's the, like, maybe the last episode where, you know, it's the more behind the scenes thing.
You could
I
see
feel like
them.
they're all like, oh yeah, like, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, it just literally couldn't stop laughing, because it's just, but also like realistically, if someone was telling you that story and just kept going on, you might be like, what the fuck is happening? You know, like, it would be an actually naturally occurring thing to be like, holy, what the fuck is this doing?
What's going on, man?
Funnily enough, I've had like legal presentations, you know, like,
No.
like stuff, not like that, but like things that are happening where people are saying shit or doing shit, and you're like, what the fuck is this person doing? like I've had things where I'm like, this person thinks they're on a TV show. Like, you know, and maybe they are just that person, and they are just a fucking goofball, but you know what I mean? Like it so like it kind of, I don't know, like it kind of makes sense. It could be, you know, I don't know. All right, well,
testicles. So ridiculous. Could imagine going to the speaker and seeing that. I you know. Oh man, the porcupine one was fucking funny too.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
Oh man.
I mean, I guess I'm running through like kind of, you know, the big things that happened. It started off, I think, pretty good with the marriage proposal and how that fed into the Doritos heist. I thought was like a good like 1-2 punch to start the season.
The Dorito heist.
Of how those two
Doritos all over
storylines
the
connected.
bed.
And like Anna and I watched, you know, the proposal. I'm like, they're not actually dating, are they? You know, like this is not a like this is a very one-sided thing. But I like that right off the bat, they're just like to Anthony, like, oh, you're on your own, dude. Like, this is you're the guy now. You're in charge of HR.
You're in charge of HR. You're Captain Fun.
Oh God. Dougie Jr., the fucking I mean, we talked about it a little bit already.
Dougie Jr.
but
is fucking hilarious.
The jerk off sauce, the malfunctioning sign, and then the Taco Bell. All,
the Taco Bell sauce. Yeah, I forgot about the Taco Bell sauce. Just took that deep into Taco Bell sauce. You did what? Oh shit! What else is there? There's the what they do? The time capsule. He's
time
constantly
capsule.
searching for the time capsule. I like the one where they're blowing up they're blowing up the things, and there's a pump. I thought that was just like small stuff like that's funny.
Yeah. I guess
the hypnotism. When
the hypnotism, that was great. Yeah. Oh man.
Then you have Sia. The snack guy. The snack guy.
He's incredible. He was incredible. PJ. I don't know what the actor's name is. I don't know what anyone's name is. I just know them all by their fake. They're going to be forever known by their fake company retreat or jury duty names, except for James Marsden, who we do know. Snack guy he was great. I loved them all. I loved Other Anthony.
Yeah.
He's
got fucking suffering from mold. He's got mold.
He's got the black mold. He did the trust fall and falls forward, just like little shit where it's just like, Jesus Christ!
Fuck, when they hit that, when she smacked the fuck out of that redhead lady.
Yeah, she's bleeding. Oh man, that was great. Oh man, the fucking redheads.
The redheads thing was so funny. They showed the video, and all the people in the video were redheads too. I thought it was so funny.
Oh yeah, well I guess the talent show was Sia coming in, which was ridiculous. I think that's funny where like
he sings Creep.
The Creep, and then she says something to Anthony like, what the fuck is happening? He's like trying to explain it to, again, it's just so absurd, but it's just, I don't know, it's just so, I don't know, perfectly funny. The hypnotism leads to Amy and Other Anthony having a little dalliance, and then there's the whole HR thing where they make Anthony come in and sit. And that's like one situation where it's like kind of mean, but also like just fucking hilarious, just to have him there and put him in that situation.
Can you ask these questions for me? I can't do it.
I liked because I caught it too, where I think PJ says it to Kevin, being like, "Oh yeah, Anthony hooked up with Amy," and then Kevin was like, "All right, we're all adults here, you can, I know what happened. You don't have to hide it from me." And he's just like, "Oh no, that wasn't me." No, that was incredible.
No, that wasn't me. That was funny. Again, the I think the notary thing was funny.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the fucking crawfish.
That
girl was so funny. Everything she did was so funny.
Oh yeah, because she had the umbrella hat and
she took this fucking sunscreen,
the lotion all over her face. Yeah.
And she wants to hook up with the redhead the whole time.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Mm-hmm. But she loves bones.
She loves bones. That person crushed it. Oh man. But then when she started breaking out in highs and fucking hacking the whole time, and then she throws a fit whenever they're like, "Go, you need to get out, quit eating the shellfish." Fine, I can't have anything I want. Man, it goes too quick, to be honest with you. It goes too quick.
I know, because the episodes are like a half hour, and like, I don't know. So Anna and I finished it last night. We had 3 left. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to finish this tonight because we started a little bit later. And we just ran right through it. And I'm like, that was fast.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, really, because now...
Well, there are the behind-the-scenes ones. I think there's a thing with Ronald and Anthony meeting. And then there's a whole reunion where I think it's like 6 months after the filming where everyone's kind of back. And it's hosted by James Marsden. So... it could be fun. Could be fun to check out if you need a little bit more. Not the same. It's not the same sort of thing, but kind of giving you a little bit more of these people at least. Could be fun.
It's just cool to see good people, man.
It is cool to see good people.
I know it's a thing I keep circling back to. It's like, man, it's
very. Well, there's clearly not enough of them out there in the world, or at least not enough taking center stage.
I'm not exposed to enough of them. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure of that. Yeah. I mean, I also have to say, just that fucking moment when Anthony. Well, it's funny because he and Dougie Jr. go back up to the crabs, and then the fucking locksmith's up there eating shit, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they already went down." He's like, "Fuck!" until they run down, and then Dougie Jr. goes to the fucking tape. eats shit. Go. Or Anthony says something. He's just like, get up. You know, he just like goes. He's just keeping going. But obviously it's the setup so that Anthony will go in and like, you know, say what he's going to say, at least try to break it up.
Save the company. Yeah.
Save the company. And to see him go in there and be like, no, I really need to talk right now. And then, you know, the redhead lady's all like, whatever. And he's like, your words mean nothing to me. It's just fucking ice cold. It's just, and then, you know, he's saying to Doug, like, father to father, like, let's go. Like, let's fucking do, you know, let's talk about this. Like,
I have nothing at stake here.
Yeah,
you know?
like that shit was epic. And
I'm
like,
looking out for the people that have looked out for me, is
like,
what he said.
It's obviously scripted in the sense that particular situation, like it's scripted that they'll overhear them being like, oh yeah, we're going to fucking sell the farm off and fuck these people and fire them all because, you know, whatever. Like, obviously it's scripted to a certain extent of like giving him the push. But there's a lot of people that wouldn't
do anything.
That wouldn't take it that far. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, like, yeah, like this is a fucking temp job. Like it's not that important. You know,
people.
like
just take
this isn't going to be his life in a week's time from that point. It's like the last day of the retreat. You know, it's just like,
yeah.
But I don't know, to see that kind of, you know,
yeah,
just I don't know. Yeah, we really just need more Anthonys in the world. You know. He sounds like he sure as fuck needs some more Anthonys and Zephyr Hills to work at that cart lot, but you know,
man, I would take just one Anthony would be okay.
And maybe more Anthonys buying cars would be great too.
More Anthonys buying cars. I mean, I would take any of the cast actually coming in to buy a car, really,
for sure. Dougie Jr.
Yeah. I can't remember what he does. When he's doing the sound check on stage during the thing.
You can like hear it faintly while the
is he screaming out there? Anthony, can you go take care of that?
I just like how it's just like the little like, Anthony, can you do this? And it's just like, you know, in the back of his head, and he's like, I really don't fucking want to do this, but like, what am I going to do? Say no, you
Especially
know?
with the at the end there with the crabs. All he wanted to do.
Oh yeah, they just wanted to eat that crab, and they were like, no, we need you down there. Can you go down? Like, no, I just want to eat fucking crabs. And that's what you could tell where it was like ramping up the intensity of just like, I feel like he was getting jerked around a lot. Not in a Rockin' with grandma's jerk off sauce sort of way, but you know, in a sort of you know, it's getting pulled in a lot of directions. Yeah, exactly. I could tell, like, I was like, this is ramping up. Like, this is getting like, this must be it. This must be it. You know. And I wasn't even sure because, like, I think they kind of did the reveal at the end of episode 7, and then that builds in episode 8 where they kind of peel it back a little bit more. But yeah. I don't know, man. There's probably other things that were fucking hilarious that I'm not thinking of right now. But, you know, in this kind of show, I'm not going to go rewatch it now. But like, and I haven't rewatched Jury Duty, to be fair. But like, these two shows feel like they're 8 episodes. You could absolutely anytime throw these things on, and I think they would just kill it. You know, if you haven't seen Jury Duty, you haven't seen Company Retreat, like, dude, you got to watch it. And I would watch the show again with someone that hadn't watched it. I would watch it again with someone that had watched it. Like it kind of, I don't know, it just has a sort of timeless quality to me.
Remember the Jury Duty where they did the 3D animation?
Yeah. That's what I was saying with like the exhibits before, and it's just like I feel like people.
It's
the jankiest shit. It's like not even working right.
That's so funny. Oh man, Jury Duty was so funny.
James Marsden taking a big, huge shit in the toilet. Oh man. I kind of do want to watch Jury Duty again now that it has been a few years. I'm like,
I can't believe it's been that long. We may do it.
That is kind of crazy.
It's almost over. We're going to be looking for a new show.
That's true. Yeah. Fire it back up while you're kind of in the mood. I don't know. All right. I mean, I guess the last thing is, what do you think Do you think they can pull off more?
What would be the next one?
More?
What would be the next one?
I saw someone suggest on the internet. What was your
vacation? You could do a vacation.
Yeah, a vacation could work. I saw someone just suggest like a wedding planning company where like the bride and groom are all actors, and it's just like someone that gets hired at the company, like the planning company or something like that, so that it could end with like a fake wedding.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Which could be interesting.
Completely
because
ridiculous. That would be nuts.
I think it's like both of these seasons have ended with high stakes. In the sense that like the first one, it's a civil trial and like. You're deliberating on whether someone's going to get be held liable, have damages, etc. This one, it's like, well, this fucking hot sauce company is going to get sold off to these corporate fucks who are going to turn around and strip it for parts, whatever. Like there is definitely high stakes that I think you need something that can have that sort of potential by the end. Where it's like a real true test of character.
Saving a marriage, yeah,
like marriage, yeah. Well, yeah, and there's definitely potential there where, some shenanigans, infidelity, and stuff. Like you could go places with that where it's just like you're infusing this person with knowledge that they should not have for this particular situation, and how do they handle that?
How do you find that person? That'd be another. The question remains every season. Like we're 2 seasons.
Well, yeah, and that's where it gets tough too, because it's like, all right, in the way that like Borat and that got increasingly more difficult for Sacha Baron Cohen to pull off. Where it's just like, that's almost I guess that was like that character becomes too recognizable. Here, it's like if there's maybe that thought in the back of someone's head of being like, oh well, I know they've done a couple shows where that's the whole thing's been fake. I don't know. Like you really have to find a efficient way to kind of weed that out, like obviously there's a lot of fucking people on this world. And the whole point is they don't need to be, they shouldn't be an actor, like that's probably something that gets filtered out is like, if you have any sort of thing that would tip us off to the fact that like you might catch wind of what's going on, then like we can't include you. But it also has to be something that like, you're going to get enough interest in that you're able to find that person. With this, it's like, here's a temp job for 2 weeks. And like, I'm assuming it must have paid pretty well to get that many applicants.
All those people. Yeah.
Like something about it must have been tempting beyond the fact that like, it's a job. Like I'm sure for a lot of people, it's like a job's a job. I'll take the money however I can get it. But to get that many people, like there was probably something about it where it was just like, no, this will be worth your time. And like, it was probably disclosed that like, this is going to be a 2-week thing where like, you're going to be away from home, away from maybe your family and stuff like that. Like that's a big ask potentially for a lot of people. And yet, they still had as many applicants as they did. So I don't know. I do want to see more. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how the fuck they pull it off, but and I think I probably would have said after the first Jury Duty, like, I think this is a one and done sort of deal. I don't know that they can pull it off again. But after this, I kind of feel like, I don't know, these folks in charge, as long as they're still willing to try to give it a go, I think I would be curious to see if they can do the impossible again,
Yeah. I agree. I trust them to do another season. They've
they've earned it at this point, like, if they want to do more, then I can't, who am I to say no? You know what I mean? So
right.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts for you on Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat?
No, fabulous show. Highly recommend.
Concur. Very much. Recommend. Very, very good. All right. Well, what has it been? A week since we talked about Mario? Is that right? Anything fun, exciting that you've been up to in that span of time? Or that you forgot to talk about then that you'd like to talk about now?
I don't think so. I don't think we've really done a whole lot.
The Pit Company Retreat.
Sounds like, the Pit, the Company Retreat. Yeah, the Pit's consistent. American Idol's consistent.
Are you up on Daredevil or a little behind on that now? Or
I've fallen behind on Daredevil.
Okay. I'm a little behind myself.
I started Maul. I thought maybe I could get
Maul started. That's
interested
true.
in Maul. And Bennett's sensitive to things. He doesn't, you don't want to see people get slashed up by lightsabers and stuff. He's
young. That could be tough. So.
He's a little.
There's probably better.
Dad, no, turn it off. Turn it off, Dad. So like, okay.
All right, that's a after bedtime
We'll go back
show.
We'll go back to Dino Ranch. But yeah. So behind on Daredevil. I think I've watched 2 episodes so far. I don't know how many are out now.
I think we're up to 4 or 5 now. Okay. So we've still got a few weeks before it's fully wrapped up.
Yeah. So I know that we're gonna. I presume that we're gonna cover that at some point.
I would expect we will. Yes.
Yeah. So I need to get back up on that, but yeah, mainly just work and I have I've completely finished Cosmic Desaturation. I don't know if I told you about that or not, but
you did. This is one of your Magic the Gathering decks that you've been.
Yeah, I am moving on to a mono red deck. I don't know if I told you about that or not.
I don't recall. Mono
that. Red. I've called it right now. The working title is War's Eternal Reckoning is what I've called it. It's mono red.
I don't remember that one. That might be a new one.
Sarah says the commander looks like he's like one of those stickers. You remember those stickers like you'd put like 3/4 in and then like slide the metal thing into the thing and then pull it out and it was like a cardboard thing.
Yeah. Okay.
With a sticker in there. She says the commander looks like one of those stickers. She says it's very lame looking. I think he looks fucking cool as shit.
Okay.
But
all right.
It's Neheb the Eternal is what he is. He's like a Egyptian goat looking skeleton guy. So it's cool. Mono red deck though. I don't know how to build it. But that's the thing I'm been tinkering with.
Right.
So, cool. But that's about it, man. That's about it. What about you? And up to anything new?
Well, I mean, I watched a movie, which I'll talk about in a second because we talked about it quite recently. But I haven't. And I watched Company Retreat, but the only there's probably 2 things that I think are probably worth talking about in this episode. Well, I guess to preface it, my in-laws came and visited. They're taking a trip down in Savannah and Charleston. So they came through Philly on the way and stayed with us for a few days.
Okay.
And so we're dog sitting their dog. If anyone has heard some strange whining in the background, that would be the dog who is now on day 1 without her mommy and daddy, and so she's a little upset, and also now she's trapped in here with me, listening to me talk about Company Retreat, a show she did not watch. But
very nice doggy.
Anyway, yeah, she's lovely.
I've met the doggy. I think
she's a good doggy. Yeah, you have. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. But anyway, while they were here, we had a very eventful Monday. This past Monday, we had a very eventful day. Did about 10 miles of walking, I think, at the total. God. We went to Longwood Gardens, which is a beautiful outdoor space in Kennett Square, PA, which is probably about an hour from where we live in Philly, and it's they have these observatories where they have beautiful seasonal displays of flowers in bloom, and it's just these huge grounds, and it's like a historical site basically. 1,100 acres of gardens, woodlands, meadows. Wikipedia says it's one of the premier horticultural display gardens in the U.S. And
wow.
And it was gorgeous, and I didn't know it existed or that it was there, or at least I forgot that. Maybe I had been told and forgot. I don't know, but Anna suggested it as a thing to do, and so we went out there Monday morning. We were there for probably half a day, and it was incredible. The weather was pretty nice. It's warmed up a bit here without being today was pretty hot. But Monday was nice. Definitely would recommend it. I mean, it was really beautiful. Took a lot of pictures. Had a nice time. And then Monday night, we had bought tickets to go see the Philadelphia Flyers play the Carolina Hurricanes. And when we bought these tickets, it was, I think, early March. the Flyers were, I don't know, scuffling a bit, not having, like had pretty good season, probably ahead of expectations, but, weren't really vying for the postseason at that point. And come, I guess, really the rest of March into April, the Flyers fucking turned it on, and had like, I think like literally the best record since like mid-March or something like that in the NHL. And somehow miraculously ended up that Monday night game we went to, they ended up with the potential to clinch a playoff spot if they could get 2 points. If they could either get a regulation win or an overtime or shootout win, that 2 points would clinch, guarantee that they would go to the playoffs, which would be the first time they've gone since 2020. And yeah, when we had bought tickets, we were in Lower Bowl. We went, and it was fucking awesome. I mean, the energy was just so electric, but it was just so funny because, like, we got incredible tickets. We did not spend a lot of money on them because when we bought them, the expectation was, it'll be fun to go, but it'll be a meaningless game. Like it won't, like, who cares? The Flyers will be eliminated at that point. And it just worked out that it was really the perfect game to go to. Like, we looked it up just out of curiosity, and the tickets that we bought were on resale for 4 times what we paid.
Oh man.
So it was like one of those things, like, yeah, we could make a profit and not go, but like, we wanted to be there. We wanted to be part of the action. And they went down 2-0 after the first period, and it kind of just felt like, okay, well, all right, well, I guess they had one more game left in the season after that. They can always get the points they need the next day if it comes down to, or they can hope that, the other teams that are vying for that last playoff spot might lose, and so it'll be, hope other teams lose that, and you might sneak your way in. But of course, it's one of those things like, well, you can just fucking win. You can just fucking win and you're in. If you win and you're in, like that's a pretty big incentive. Like, that's basically a playoff game, and if you can't fucking win, if you're losing and hoping for other teams to lose, like, that's some fucking loser shit. Don't want that. So anyway, first period was deflating, but they got their shit together. Put 2 points on the board in the second period. We had a scoreless third. We went to overtime. I had a couple, close calls, some scares in overtime, but we went to a shootout. And then, shootout, you got three skaters for each side, and no one scored from either team for the first 3 skaters. And then, by golly, Flyers' 4th skater, Tyson Forster, put one up, and then Dan Vladar made the save in net for Hurricanes' 4th attempt at the shootout, and Flyers clinched a playoff spot, and we were there to see it. And it was, I mean, just fucking dynamite, just being there. Like, it was just so cool to be there for that. Was awesome. And our parents were there with us. We're all Flyers fans, and so it was just like a big celebration. I think Philadelphia's having a pretty good moment. I mean, Phillies have had a slow start to the season. Sixers, I think, just won their play-in game for the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't know if they'll make a lot of... it's the same thing with the Flyers. I don't think they're going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. I just think they're probably not quite there yet. There's definitely better teams in the league. But you never know. And just getting that experience, if you're not there, you just won't know, And so...
That's true.
So we'll see what happens. So we've got a nice toxic intrastate rivalry game series with the Pittsburgh Penguins coming up, probably starting this upcoming weekend for us. So we'll see how it goes. But it's just, even if they go down in flames, it's just an honor to be there. So anyway, it was just really fun seeing that. We won't be going into playoff games. We are not rich enough for that. But
gotta go, dude. How many more times?
Well, Anna has said that we should start a savings fund for what if the Flyers go to the Stanley Cup Finals, because if they reach it that far, that is very legitimately something that may only happen once in your life.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. So I don't know that this will be the year, but if that's a reverse jinx, I'm fine with that. I'm setting my expectations low. I will be pleasantly surprised, and if it doesn't work out this year, then it's one of those things where it's just like, well, there's a lot to build off. Like the future is bright. This is not the year, and they're selling out to do it this year. Like they're ahead of schedule, like it feels like. So if they can keep on track, then I think they're in a really good place. So anyway, sports ball update for the episode. It was really exciting. I haven't watched a lot outside of what we have covered on this episode or very recently covered on a bonus episode that I'll talk about shortly. So I think we can wrap it up there if you're ready. Oh, I know someone that's ready. I don't know if people can hear that, but she's upset. She says, I need to go outside right now.
Everyone, take care now. Bye then.
Oh, I got to do the whole thing. I got to do the goodbye thing.
Oh,
I got to take everyone out.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I got excited because
you're like, it's almost midnight.
That doggy needs to go outside.
Oh no, I guess we'll just skip the last 2 minutes. No. I'll go through it quickly though. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We're on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. You can get early access to all of our regular episodes, timed exclusive access to bonus episodes like the one we just recorded this very night. How about that? 2 in 1 night on the 1963 film Jason and the Argonauts, part of our series.
How about that?
Leading up to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, where we're getting excited about that. We've been excited about that. We are excited about that. Very much looking forward to it. And so we've decided we're going to cover some Greek mythology inspired things. So we did Hercules, the 1997 film, the Disney one prior to that, which will probably be making its way to the regular feed soon. But we'll have a brand new bonus episode up on Patreon to listen to. So check that out. Check that out right now. Our website's watchreviewrepeat.com. We're on most of the socials. We're on Instagram at watchreviewrepeat. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/watchreviewrepeat. We are on Blue Sky, watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social. We are on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, send them our way to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. Intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, which is licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Coming up next, we will probably be putting up a bonus episode on the regular feed after this is probably what will happen, since now that we've recorded a new one, it will sequentially make sense to put Hercules out for the masses. We recorded that probably a month or so ago from when we're recording this. But I think the next on the docket in terms of new content, new movies, new etc., Lee Cronin's The Mummy hits theaters quite soon. That was on our radar. Might be worth a theater trip if we can make it happen. I'll also note that CinemaCon is happening right now as we're recording. CinemaCon out in Las Vegas, and last year we had a correspondent who was there on the ground. He's there again this year. Maybe that's worth doing.
Incredible, absolutely.
To talk about all the big things happen there. So maybe we'll do both of those, probably not at the same time, probably not in the same night. But some options as we build to May, as Daredevil, Maul, and all that sorts of those bigger things start to wrap up. But that's probably what we have on the radar for the near future. Some version of that, some sequence of that. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah. All right. Now you can do the thing. Now you can do the thing, and we'll get out of here.
Take care now. Bye then.
Later's on the Minjay.